Hi guys, and welcome to Bomb Anime. It's your girl
Ruka
and Big Boy Sam here, bringing you another episode of Hot or Not.
Welcome to this episode of Hot or Not, where we judge anime based on only its first episode. Today, Other Side Picnic is in the hot seat and we're gonna judge the hell out of it. We'll then be back for a part 2 to see if our Hot or Not verdict holds up.
We'll be looking at the creativity, entertainment, character development, world building, and execution to see if this anime is hot or not. You know what it is. Let's get right into it.
Creativity. So with this, it's two girls who can somehow go to the other side that has like unknown dangers. It's like other worlds. I like that they're using sort of urban legends or conspiracy theories, and I like that they've actually embraced modern technology. A lot of the times when you watch media, especially if it's fantasy, they try to sort of ignore the fact that phones exist, the internet exists, and sort of plow through and try and ignore it, but they've actually used it to their advantage, and they're actually making it kind of seems like creepypastas. So they're using the internet, there's creepypastas, there's these monsters that are online and they're actually real, and they're being able to encounter them. So I listen to creepypastas on YouTube, so that's my thing.
Well, for me, creativity. Where you saw creepypastas, I saw cosmic horror. Oh my god, and you know how much I live for cosmic horror. Wow. Creatures that you don't understand, portals to a different world, you being an insignificant speck in the whole spectrums of things you don't understand. I loved it. As Ruka said, yeah, using technology and bringing it into the real world made it more real. And I know that's me saying value or something stupid like that, but I don't know how else to describe it. The fact that they use normal guns just made it for me, because I thought, oh my days, this could be like an actual real life show as well, not just an anime. I could see actors actually doing this. I could see it as a game as well. Like it felt so immersive. The only thing for me in terms of creativity was the drawings of the main characters, especially the blonde one, what's her name? Toriko. She didn't look how I would thought that someone so smart and so mature above her years sort of thing would have looked like.
What?
Yeah.
Seriously?
I'm being serious. She looked too young to be that kind of character. That's how I felt.
Eat them up in the comments, that's all I'm saying.
Why?
Moving on from that.
Oh, you got no words, yeah? You got no words. Tell me why they should eat me up in the comments. I'm right. She looked too young to be that smart in this situation.
Alright then, so you heard it here. Big Boy Sama thinks that young people are dumb. So moving on.
No, no, fam. No. I'm saying she looked 12 when she should be like 18, 20. That's what I'm saying.
She looks about 17 to me, so you think 17-year-olds are stupid?
No, she looks 17 to you. She don't look 17 to me. She looked 12.
It's an anime.
That's
you
what
know
I'm saying.
how they're drawn.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm just saying, like, you know, I can't just give it all praise. I have to see some cutbacks too, innit? This
is why we can't let him pick no hot or nots no more.
You know what? Go move to the next one.
No, I just wanted to say that on the creativity side, is the other side born from people's imaginations? Or are people being able to write about them because they've lived to tell the tale? And that's one of the things that I want them to answer in this, because I think it could be interesting whichever direction they decide to go on this one.
See, I didn't even think of that in terms of creativity. What I thought was that Toriko was just a manipulative psychopath.
Whoa!
Who picked
Save it for character development, Sam.
Yeah, we'll get it in there. We'll get it in there.
Entertainment. Okay, so on this one, I did think that it was kind of confusing at times. Like, I didn't always understand what exactly was happening, because they went from like the other side to the real world and didn't even explain how they got back. Is it just random? But then There was a whole elevator thing to get back to the other side, but then we didn't even hear about how Sorrel got there in the first place. It was just kind of like a big question mark on that, so I wasn't really feeling that. However, it does keep you interested, and they do tell you bits and pieces, and I like that they explain what's going on by the two girls having different experiences and explaining things that the other one doesn't understand to each other. That managed to clue us in without it feeling like they were just talking at us, so I really like that. And also I like the fact that they do little things that tells you a bigger part of the story. For instance, you find guns lying around. How would you find guns lying around? Clearly people are going over there and they're dying, and then their possessions are left behind so you can pick them up. So I really like those little details that they were thrown in there. So it's clearly not that uncommon to go to the other side either. It's clearly uncommon, but it's not as uncommon as I first thought when I saw the trailer, and also when I started watching the first episode as well.
I really like the friendship by force situation that was going on here, because one person has been, I don't know, the quote unquote otaku and loner, and the other person's so bubbly and live. It's like a sitcom, and they played well off each other, and I like that. And also them two being two female characters that are young in age to be the heroines of the show, it brought a different perspective to most animes that I watch. I was really into that sort of story. My issue with entertainment was that I didn't feel like I got enough sometimes. I didn't get enough information sometimes, and I get that they were trying to build the mystery and suspense and it was deliberate, but I felt like they could have sprinkled in a little bit more information for me in that sense.
Character development. So I kind of thought that Toriko's personality was a bit weird, because she seemed so laid back for what was actually happening at the time. Like, she seemed too laid back. I don't think that anyone would be that calm in a situation like this. I mean, I know I wouldn't. Even if you have been there a couple of times, it's constantly a life and death situation. So the level of just chill that she had was just too much for me and too unbelievable, and it made it harder to relate to her character. Sorrel was so upset about not having friends in the beginning. Like, she was lying there saying like no one would care, no one would notice if I died. The only person that would notice would be the school administration. That would only be because I wouldn't have paid my fees. But then when she runs into Toriko in the real world, she's kind of like trying to brush her off almost. So I was just like, okay girl, which one is it? And then also Toriko's motivation just seemed to be kind of absurd. So she's going there for money reasons. It just didn't seem like enough. And then we don't even know when Sorrel's over there. It just I wasn't feeling any of those things that I just mentioned. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, Rika, I mean, you know when you're single and you get asked out, if you're not feeling that person, you don't say yes, even though you might want a boyfriend. You know what? Valentine's is coming. Where's your boyfriend? You are seeing the Lord. Do you get what I mean? That's probably what it was. She just wasn't feeling that in the beginning.
She saved her life. Pretty ungrateful if you ask me.
Oh, right. So you have to sleep with everyone that saves your life?
What? I don't know where you're at. This is not Rent a Girlfriend. We're on a totally different anime right now, so let's get back on track.
You need to stop that Rent a Girlfriend stuff, you know.
Okay.
I'll make some hashtags about you on Instagram, I swear down.
And it didn't take off, did it?
Anywho.
I like the fact that these two girls are very different. I like the fact that you've got one girl who is quite introverted and the other one is very extroverted, but it doesn't take away from either of them because, as we've seen, they're both pretty resourceful. I like that we're not dragging one person along. They're pretty well matched in different areas, so they can help each other out in different ways. And I could see a bond pretty much straight away because of the circumstance that they were in. They both saved each other's lives, and that's really the basis on their friendship. In the real world, they would have probably never spoken or anything like that, but because of these circumstances that they found each other in, there's an instant bond. So I like that about the characters, and I want to see more.
In terms of character development, I'm looking at Toriko and going, you just manipulated this little girl into doing whatever you wanted by force. You didn't ask her permission, you dragged her along with you, she's doing everything you want, and then she saves your life in the end. And you were right, she's a perfect partner in crime. Loyal, smart, logical, and don't ask too many questions. She's like that cat from Rick and Morty. Don't ask questions, you know, remember that cat?
I don't feel the same about this, so I'll just leave you to talk on this one.
I do like the way they dealt with the wiggle waggle. Heck, I like the name Wiggle Waggle. I thought that was quite funny and brought home again the fact that it felt so real. It was a childish name by children making an observation about stuff they didn't understand. And it kind of goes back as well to what I was saying earlier about how I wasn't given enough information. Like, for example, Tariko told me that pressing the lift in certain combinations will get you to the other side. But the lift kept opening and it looked like there were different other sides. That wasn't explored. I didn't know what the combination was in the lift was. Like, do you get what I mean? And it's those little niggling things that make me want to carry on and pursue this anime to find out those little niche sort of answers.
World building. For this one, I actually mentioned the lifting as well. I actually like that they didn't show us what buttons were pressed, because I feel like that leaves a level of suspense in terms of if you actually press these buttons in the correct order in the real world, you could end up on the other side. You know, like that kind of, this isn't really an anime, this could happen in real life. I like that element, and I hope they don't show us that. I don't want them to show us everything at all. However, why on earth would pressing the lift buttons in a certain order bring you to the other side? That doesn't make any sense. So does that mean that the people actually manufacturing the lifts are involved in the other side, like the government? No, like, what is this? Is this a conspiracy? What exactly is happening here? I didn't get that. I didn't understand why that would work. And right now I'm not really feeling it, but maybe I will change my mind when I watch a couple more episodes and I get a little bit more information. But right now that's not sitting well with me. And it took far too long. Why didn't she just ask Sarao how she got to the other side? Was it easier? Like, I don't know. I wasn't feeling that. And again, like I already mentioned, it just didn't explain how they got to their own world. Are they trapped in this other side until something random happens? Because when we saw them first, they were in a room and they randomly started hearing noises, and when they looked at the people, the world was changing, and then they ended up back in the real world. So I need a bit more explanation, but I feel like we can get that as the anime goes along. I felt like in the world building as well, they set the tone immediately. Like, as soon as it started, you knew the kind of anime you were going to be expecting to see, and they delivered on that, to be honest. They made sure that they were very specific with the music that they used, the way everything was drawn. With everything, I thought that they did a really good job. The world actually kind of reminds me of Hogwarts. Okay, hear me out before you even say anything. So you know in Hogwarts where the staircases all change and it can take you to like a random part of the school that you weren't even expecting? It seemed kind of like that, but with different worlds instead. And I'm a bit of a Harry Potter fan, so I like that bit.
So in terms of world building for me, look, this world is worlds upon worlds upon worlds. It's a nice layered approach. Just like Ruka said, it started off with a bang. You knew exactly where you were and you knew what was going on, and I thought that was great. I like the fact that the world is seamless and it's integrated correctly. The use of the urban legends as well as the cosmic horror working hand in hand, because at the end of the day, what the F is a wiggle waggle? I have no idea. I still get items from it though, so is it an MMO sort of thing? Like Sarao said, we need to abide by the logic of this world. The fact that the world are built differently but also similar is great, and they've got lots of legs. They can go on for ages with this anime. I didn't get much of the real world except for the hustle and bustle and transportation. I would have liked to see more lore about the real world.
Plot execution. So, okay, for this, it's a bit weird because I'm not sure exactly what the plot is, because both of the girls were on the other side for different reasons. I don't know if Tariko has always been on the other side because she's basically on the black market getting goods and selling them, but we have no idea why Sarao was there at all. She never spoke about it. Also, they're hunting monsters for money basically to get these items, but how on earth did they find a buyer for something so specific? Because these things are all on the internet. They're basically creepypastas where people tell you about different types of monsters and what might happen and stuff like that turn out to be real when you're on the other side. However, how do you find a buyer for something like that? And how do you even know the buyer's legit and not just like on the internet? Like, there's trolls. The internet is a crazy place. And how on earth would something like that have any monetary value in the real world? Like, I'm just where's the value coming from with the item? Like, it just, I felt like there was just so many things that just wasn't answered that needed to be answered for me to be able to talk about the plot in any kind of meaningful way.
So in terms of the plot, I see it in twofold. I see the plot being Toriko trying to find whoever she was looking for and using Sarao as her means to get it. Just like what Ruka said, there's lots of holes that need filling basically so that we can get the actual plot. But that's the only plot I could deduce from there. I saw this first episode as not more of a plot thing, but more of a setting the scene thing. So we got introduced to the main characters, we got introduced to the concepts of the anime so that we could have a great foundation to move forward. Now, could they have given us a better plot for the first episode? Absolutely. And just like Ruka said, they needed to put certain answers in for it to make sense. Make it make sense, innit? And they didn't. But was it entertaining? Did it fulfill? I mean, like, look at the music. The music was fantastic. The drawing was fantastic. Everything was set to succeed. And I think they've done a good job in creating the first episode to create enough buzz for you to watch the whole thing.
I feel like the plot has not actually come out yet.
Yeah.
They mentioned someone called Satsuki or Sasuke, who is some kind of relation to Toriko, but she never answered Sarao when she asked her, like, who is that you were calling for someone? So I feel like it's yet to be seen. It's yet to be told. I
do feel like that this anime has a very clever script though. They're definitely aiming at the thinkers, not just the normal shonen watchers. And there's nothing wrong with just watching shonen. I'm not trying to say whatever, but I'm just saying it's more of a fringe anime. It's for the outer skirts of animes and not mostly the mainstream. I kind of like that.
Okay, so I think we have said absolutely everything that we can say about this anime. So let's get down to business. Creativity, hot or not?
For me, it's a hot.
And for me, it's also a hot. Really good. Entertainment.
For me, it's a hot.
It's a hot for me as well. Character development.
See, I was teetering, but it's a hot for me.
I'm not teetering at all. This is a strong hot for me. World building.
Oh, absolutely hot.
Definitely hot. They've done a really good job. And finally, plot execution.
See, unfortunately, it's a not for me. There was no plot, so it didn't execute.
It's also a not for me because for the same exact reasons, I just don't think that they showed us anything in terms of the plot, and I just think that the plot is going to be explained to us a little bit further in. I feel like we're going to have a lot of twists and turns in this anime. That's what I'm expecting.
Well, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
Peace!